What's the most devastating way you found out your parents had been lying to you? I discovered that my struggling single mom had actually been receiving thousands of dollars from my wealthy grandparents for years when I found bank statements showing she'd been living off their money while telling me we were poor. Growing up, my mom always told me we barely had enough money to survive. She'd stress about every expense, make me feel guilty for wanting things other kids had, and constantly reminded me how hard she worked to support us alone. Always said my grandparents on my dad's side didn't care about us and had cut us off after he died. Never let me have contact with them, claiming they blamed her for my father's death. I never questioned this story. Mom seemed genuinely stressed about money, and we lived modestly in a small apartment. When I turned 18, I needed to set up my own bank account for college and a part-time job. Mom said she'd help me with the paperwork, but kept putting it off or changing the subject. Finally, I decided to handle it myself and needed tax documents from her files. While looking through her desk for tax papers, I found bank statements from an account I'd never heard of. The monthly deposits were massive, $3,000 every single month for the past 16 years. Every deposit was labeled Trust Payment, Henderson Estate. My heart stopped. Henderson was my father's last name. These weren't random payments. They were from my paternal grandparents, who I'd been told wanted nothing to do with us. I found 16 years of bank records showing my mom had been receiving $36,000 per year from my father's family, but it got worse. I found correspondence from a law firm explaining that the payments were specifically for my care, education, and well-being. My grandparents had been sending detailed letters asking about my school progress, health, and whether I needed anything. Every letter begged my mom to let them see me, send photos, or allow phone calls. They'd included pictures of themselves, stories about my father's childhood, and gifts they wanted to give me for birthdays and holidays. The most recent letter, from just last month, said, "Sarah is 18 now. We've honored your wishes about contact, but we hope she'll choose to meet us when she's ready. We've loved her from afar her entire life." I confronted my mom that evening. She immediately became defensive, but eventually broke down and admitted everything. "Yes, they've been sending money. I needed it to raise you properly. I never wanted you to feel like we were charity cases. But you told me we were poor. You made me feel guilty for wanting a bike or school clothes or anything that cost money. I was teaching you the value of money and not to be spoiled." While lying about why my grandparents abandoned us, they've been trying to be part of my life for 18 years. Mom had been pocketing the money, living comfortably while making me believe we were struggling. She'd used my father's parents' generosity while poisoning me against them. I was protecting you from people who might try to take you away from me, but the letters showed grandparents who just wanted to love me and be part of my life, not take me away. I contacted my grandparents the next day. My grandmother cried when she heard my voice for the first time. They drove 8 hours to meet me that weekend, bringing 18 years of birthday gifts they'd been saving and photo albums of my father I'd never seen. My grandparents had set up a college fund for me that my mom never mentioned. They'd been paying for my education while she made me apply for financial aid as a poor student. Meeting them revealed a whole family history I'd been denied, stories about my father, traditions I'd never experienced, and unconditional love I'd been told didn't exist. My relationship with my mom was destroyed. She'd stolen not just money, but my entire relationship with my father's family based on her own insecurities and greed. She'd made me live in artificial poverty while profiting from their love for me. My grandparents and I are building a relationship now, but I'll always grieve the 18 years of love and connection I was denied.